Hey everyone, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to turn, what is this, 47 of Pokemon Gold, where we are playing Cyanwood City. Let's jump into the turn. So we've had a couple of turns where things have gotten pretty interesting. It's been kind of maybe stress city, I guess, for the last little while. But yeah, we've got some pretty interesting turns of event this time around. So let's take a look at everything. Same situation as usual. So we empowered ourselves in death. We found no new sites. Nothing in Three Pine Grove. Nothing in Kratos. Nothing in Wellrid. Nothing in Kunal. Nothing in Three Pine Grove again. We've got a proclamation from Atlantis, Cyanwood City. This is them getting a new prophet after we killed their previous prophet. Very fun. And then we actually, I love this. This is funny. So this Pokefan mom resisted the. This is a complete mismatch. This Pokefan mom resisted the seduction of this guitarist, and look at this. Look at this fucking guitarist, right? Like, this thing has a Girdle of Might. It has Magnetite or Magnemite Mail, right? Which is some pretty interesting stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty good. It's got a Mistletoe Garland, which gives luck, and it's got a great sword of sharpness. This is dangerous, right? This could potentially like mollywop a golem or something. No, this is crazy. I guarantee the scenario is it has to like not immediately die to the golem is the thing. So but yeah, this is a very big mismatch. But this is also our Pokefan mom with a Thistle Mace. Okay, so we get enlarge, right? Summon Earth Power. So she enlarges herself. Okay. Right? Summons Earth Power. And then we get a Panic. Okay. Nothing doing. We get an Eagle Eyes. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. The Skarmory's in the... What? What happened? This thing routed. It routed off of, like, a baby hit. So if we actually like look at the unit overview, I think the Skarmory actually routed from the Panic, right? And then the Skarmory's HP was so much of the battle that that this guitarist basically just ran almost immediately afterwards. I don't know. Like they took no damage, right? This just seems insane to me. I'm flabbergasted. That I would be furious over this. Absolutely furious. Anyways, moving on. The unrest in Viridian City is increasing. Could be the work of enemy spies. We won a victory. We're going to have a series of these, actually. We won a victory in Berman Highs. We won a victory in Vepetir. We won a victory in Hobergdorf. We won a victory in Hall Woods. We won in Windsog Forest. What the fuck is this? I was going through, oh my god, I was going through this turn, and I was just like, oh, this is nice, going through the victories, and then I got to this, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was straight up like, what the fuck? So, Olivine City, I guess, got tired of messing around, of like sneaking around and like stealth raiding me, and has grouped up together a batch of Steelix champions and Steelixes, and is now on Viridian City. and they're gonna pop Viridian City instantly with this much. Remember, these guys have 84 siege strength. They're insanely strong at sieging. And unfortunately, while I think this group, this little like counter group, would have worked against maybe like 1 or 2 Steelix champions. Definitely, I think against 1, maybe against 2. There's no way it worked against 5, and 3 Steelixes, right? So unfortunately, we lost that one. We'll talk. This is gonna be this turn is gonna be very much a big deal about what are we doing for Viridian City. We're gonna what happens there. Actually, I have to make a bunch of changes because I haven't finished everything. But most of them are going to be very easy to make live. So, our military, we lost in Spire of Ascension, no big deal. We won in Silver Grove. We won in Giant Spine. We won in Kratos. We were beaten in Storn Woods. We won in Violet City, and we are sieging the fortress. Very easy. And our goal, we actually sniffed out a Steelix champion and won a fight in Omicria with our golem. We got a lightless lantern from Vepitir, or Vepitre, I guess is that how you would say that? Returning from ruins deep in the mountains has returned insane, carrying a magical lantern. Lord of the land immediately sent to the treasury. Nice. Sorry. Then we have Viridian City is breached. We have started to destroy the fort in Violet City. We'll have it breached next turn. We cured some battle afflictions and some diseases, found some patrolling things, got some promotions. And Urborn is actually a new hero. Let's go ahead and check him real quick. He got Heroic Agility, or Extraordinary Agility. So he has, he's ambidextrous, and he has increased attack and defensive skills, which is actually pretty good. Like, he's got a +1 from heroic ability here, +1 from a heroic ability here. But with his bonuses, right, with his experience bonuses, he's got magic item bonuses here. And then with a blessing, he actually gets pretty high defense. It's kind of funny. Like, Urborn has suddenly turned into kind of a beast. It's pretty cool. So let's pop back and watch 2 battles. We're going to watch the battle in Viridian City. We're going to watch the battle in Omicria. We'll watch the battle in Omicria first. So there's been some chatter back and forth about how it's a good thing that that Olivine City and I are fighting each other because we're the 2 most busted. Me with my 1d6 Machokes from the Blue Belts, and Olivine with the Steelix champions. I'm probably biased, but I definitely have to say that I think Olivine is the one with the stronger brokenness. I honestly still think that people are overestimating the 1d6 Machokes. I think it's very strong, obviously. It's a bug, obviously. But at the end of the day, like, I've played enough single player campaigns with Cyanwood, testing everything, and just because I like the nation in general, to know that you just fail against so many things because of the low magic resist and they're good, but they're not like super killy compared to a lot of other Pokemon, right? They don't have any like really special gimmick. There's just, they free spawn. But anyways, basically people are saying it's good that we're fighting because we're both busted. And I'm just like, ooh, goodness gracious. I'm like having to pull out all the stops, but I'm very glad that this is starting to work. They did, a lot of people are talking about how like this would probably be going much worse for me if we were fighting in warm lands instead of cold lands because of this, basically because the Steelix champions are fatiguing out way easier in the cold. And that's definitely true, right? But I'm not sure it would matter in certain situations, but I don't think it would matter in all situations. I'm not even sure it matters in most situations. So that fight in Omicria is basically how a Golem versus Steelix Champion is gonna work out the majority of the time. So there's something we're gonna take a look at this battle. We already know we lose, right? We already know we don't take anyone. We already know that this force could have taken a single champion and might have taken 2 champions. But I really want to watch this specifically because... Not that one, that one, that one. Because like the Seducer that we saw earlier, right? This is an example of Olivine City starting to get items. And if he gets a lot of items, this is gonna get real bad for me. So Vine Shield is just one of many. Like already the concept of like having a Vine Shield on a Steelix champion makes them that, even just alone makes them that much harder for like my groups. Like all of a sudden I don't know that this group kills that single Steelix champion. Obviously they don't kill anything, but in a normal fight, right? I don't know that this group beats that single Steelix champion. So we do see like the general concept work, right? We get a bunch of attacks, but then there's just too many bodies, right? So now we're too unfocused. There's not enough attacks going to a single person. This is where I think had it been 2, we probably still would have been okay. But 3 or more is just too many. Too many bodies for this few individuals to combat. We lose pretty hard there. And that's really it, honestly. So let's take a look at the turn. We are moving around like crazy. This is basically going to be every turn for the rest of the game. Is we're going to have because I mean it's starting to get end of mid into late game. And we're gonna have a lot of movement every turn, basically. So, in the Olivine City front, we have all of the normal stuff. We are, you might notice in their territory, we're actually striking out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. We have a 6th party, but this is one of those sneaky parties, so we're gonna sneak attack, you know, that type of thing. So. But we've got a lot of attacks coming at Olivine City's actual lands, and it's starting to show. So if we take a look at provinces, right? This turn, it has been opposite for a very long time. This turn, we swing back, and we are now ahead. I mean, at this point, Olivine has had more provinces than we have for at least 15 turns. If we go all the way back to this point, right? At least probably 20 turns. It's been a long time since we've really... Actually, we were never really ahead of them. We're still not really ahead of them. This is probably going to swing back, right? But just to see such a disparity here suddenly swing upwards, this is very good for us. Very good sign. Especially like when you take into the account the income disparity, right? Our income is still quite high. It has always been quite high. Even when we dipped here and we were actually below our upkeep, right? Our income was still very high. Far higher than Olivine's has ever been. And now that it's actually starting to dip a little bit, that's bad news for Olivine. This is the lowest their income has been in probably back here. So probably 15 turns or so. So that's a pretty big deal. Okay, so and this is this is only going to get worse as we send more and more against them. So we will see how it goes. It's really almost entirely because of me sitting on Violet City, right? Putting Chuck on Violet City means he loses the majority of the income there, and that's that. So, okay, moving from the Olivine kind of the olivine violet front. Like once more things start to actually happen here, we might actually open violet as a front. But basically, it's just the olivine territories right now. In Saffron City, we are doing a couple of different things, but the main thing that we're doing is we're posturing around Saffron City. I have enough units to where I feel like I can address or try to address Viridian City, but I'm posturing around Saffron City because I do not want to lose Saffron City. I want to keep this Astral Pearls resource. I want to get in here and I want to put up a temple. I want to start producing Steelix champions, and I want to turn his fucking medicine back on him. And we're gonna see how it goes. Because here's the thing, right? Like, I don't know, honestly. Actually, I on one hand, I absolutely, after having had to deal with him and experiencing him myself, I absolutely want to take these Steelix champions. Sorry. And I want to take these Steelix champions and I want to kit them out because I can kit them out so easily. I want to kit them out and I want to go beat the shit out of people with them. But I also feel like that's kind of poor form, right? That doing that would, I don't know. Wouldn't I think I would probably feel bad about that at the end of the day. We know they're busted, right? It's kind of rude for us to then take the thing that we know is busted and use it against other people, right? That's why I'm trying to. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I used the Machoke hordes against Olivine initially, but I'm not doing Machokes anymore. I'm basically only doing Machamps. Like they only get sent out when they're Machamps, right? So we're definitely going to produce some Steelixes, but I think we're going to produce it more for the fact that they're extremely high Earth. I don't know if I'm actually going to employ them as the god tier super combatants that they are. We'll see. Okay, that's really it. Like we're moving in a sacred unit. We're attacking with Urborn. We're raiding up here in the Cavern Realm, and then we have all of these, right? All of these remote site searches. That's going to happen basically every turn for the rest of existence. As far as I'm concerned, until I remote site search everything until and to the end of the game, or I've run out of gems, then I'm going to be site searching it. So, that being said, it is kind of no, it's not dangerous. It's just annoying. Like if Kathleen were to die, like if Kathleen had died and we lost that Thistle Mace there, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. We just would have produced another Thistle Mace in like another couple turns. It just would have been really annoying. So, I don't know. Anyways, we are moving Norag all the way down to Viridian City. And let's actually go over this now, right? We're also moving Zarin in to Viridian City. And we're moving Yazar, moving and patrolling actually to Kunal, right? We're moving Ekis up to Three Pine Grove. We're attacking into Olivine's lands with Vano, right? Basically, we're trying to project more force over here towards Viridian City. But with Zarin and Norag, we're going straight at them. And here's the thing, though. I don't think these golems don't win on their own. Absolutely not. 2 golems against 5 Steelixes, I think super lose. Like, really hard. Because it's only going to take a couple of stray hits to break a golem. And the amount of trampling that's going to go down, the fact that we're going to switch focus targets, etc., I think it makes it extremely dangerous to do this. But here's why we're basically going to do it. Because I'm going to take all of these except for Irma. And we're breaking siege. Because here's the thing. If we don't do this and we let Olivine attack the fortress, all of this dies. All of these mages die. All of these units die, period. Right? We lose, I mean, I could take off all of these, like, lanterns and owl quills, and then we wouldn't lose them, etc., right? But we would, basically. Like, we wouldn't lose the items, but we lose the mages. And it's going to take me so long to replace these mages that we might as well have just lost all of the items. It's gonna take a very long time for me to replace these mages. So we're gonna try to not lose them, or we're gonna try to not lose as many of them as we can, right? And how we're doing that is basically we've talked about this previously, right? We have Venna. We've put Earth Boots on her. She's got an Earth Gem, and she is going to be casting Weapons of Sharpness. So we have our units in a very big cluster around her, so we're hoping that she is going to target the correct ones. And she should, because it doesn't have a very long range, right? But it has a very big area of effect. It has a 25 area of effect, and hitting all of these units, not all of them, some of them are crap units, but many of these units, right, hitting a Machoke. Karate Chop is already armor piercing, but turning Low Kick into an armor pierce means that this is a 30 damage attack, right? Hitting this Machamp is a 36 armor piercing attack. Seismic Toss becomes a 28 armor piercing attack, right? All of the shit, are they all in here? Yeah, all of the, we didn't have very many, but all of the, like, Nidokings and Nidoqueens that we had left over, they suddenly have armor piercing attacks, right? Double Kick is already an armor piercing attack. But we give these Arboks, right? Suddenly Crunch is an armor piercing attack. And that means that the amount of potential damage should be significantly higher. To the point to where I'm hoping that we can actually, you're in the wrong spot, that we can actually do some damage. We might not, right? At the end of the day, this might go horribly south. We've got a couple of, like, very weird, odd scenarios, right? We might kill ourselves with spamming long-ranged abilities, but there's not really much I can do about it. We might kill ourselves off of this poison, right? I have them off into a different corner to try to keep them away. Hopefully that they have a lot of, they don't have a lot, but they have a bit of ammunition, right? So hopefully they can go in and actually just shoot for a little while and stay out of things, right? Probably won't, but maybe, you know? We'll see. And I don't know. These I should probably, and I might actually do this before the end of this video. These I might actually put on a unit and stealth out. I can't do that with the Weezings, right? So I would still have to deal with their Poison Cloud. But I don't know. I feel like maybe they would be better, right, than having to deal with the Team Rockets. Although I will say this, there's one thing about the Mucks. The Mucks have, so these Sludge Bomb, the Sludge and Sludge Bomb is basically nothing, right? But this Toxic is actually armor negating, and it hits for 35 poison damage. And I think if we check, actually check real quick here. So they only have 25 poison resistance. So this Toxic actually can hit for a chunk of damage. So maybe that helps. I don't know. I don't know. This seems like a very dicey thing. I guess the thing that I'm not super worried about is that these golems are also very poison resistant. And at the end of the day, I still think it's going to be the golems coming in. So they are moving in to the Break Siege, and I think they're probably going to do the majority of the work, right? Let's like be honest about the situation. So, And that's pretty much it, honestly. Like, who is this? Need to be. So that's the plan. Is we're trying to weapons of sharpness, right? So targets are going to deal AP damage. We're doing a whole crap ton of random things, but mostly we're doing strength of giants, right? We should not be doing legions of steel. No one really has any armor. Do more strength of giants, just to make sure that we hit absolutely everyone that we can hit. Because again, right? So we take like a Nidoking is a pretty good example, right? Adding 4 strength means that this is a 25 damage. This guy berserks, he suddenly gets 29 damage, and this is now armor piercing, right? That makes a difference. That actually does make a difference. This double kick, right, is already armor piercing. It gets a +4 bonus, so it's 21 armor piercing, and it hits twice. That's not bad, right? So adding in the strength of giants to the weapon of sharpness, I'm hoping we're actually going to be able to field a fair number of individuals that are going to hit hard enough to make a difference. I don't know that that's actually going to matter. We're doing a bunch of other stuff in between. We're doing some acid bolts just because this could potentially, it's armor piercing, so it could potentially hurt. I don't know, whatever. We're doing steel breath. I think is actually something that could be helpful. Again, it's armor negating. It is fatigue damage. So if we can fatigue the units out and makes them easier. Bonds of Fire is just something that I figured I might try. It's probably not even going to work because it's so low range. But I do have them on advance and cast spells. But this is a morale check versus 21. And if they fail, they just get 3 armor negating fire damage, which they're going to ignore anyways because they have fire. So that's a dumb idea. We're going to take that off. Same here. We're going to take that off. Just cast spells. Whatever. So basically, the people that I don't think are really going to be able to contribute, I'm not worrying about. I'm just putting them on cast spells. They're just going to cast something. We're going to see how it goes, right? I knew that idea came to me stupidly for no reason. There is one thing that I do want to point out is I actually am cloud trapezing Irma over to Cyanwood City. And you might be like, cloud trapeze? How are you doing cloud trapeze? You don't have any air 2s? Apparently I have an air 2. I did not realize that I did this. But I got a very, very, very lucky Air 2 random off of one of these Battle Girl Pearls. So I am sending Irma over to Cyanwood City. She's escaping. I would use her to defend if I thought she could actually contribute anything, but Air 2 honestly isn't really going to do anything against these Steelixes. They have extremely high shock resistance, which is annoying. But she can do Auspex. So she is going to go to Cyanwood City, and she's going to start doing Auspex every turn. Just the off chance of finding more air sites for us. And that's Viridian City, honestly. Like, I don't know that it's gonna work. I hope it does. We've got Zarin and the other guy. They're both up here, right? So they're gonna buff themselves and they're gonna attack into the mix, and we're gonna see how things go. I'm hopeful that this is gonna work. Basically, I'm hopeful that there's enough bodies here that this is gonna screen for them long enough to do what they need to do, basically. I think once they get in there, if it was just 2v5, the golems would absolutely die. But if it's 5 versus 102, then I think the golems might actually come out on top. Because the golems can basically get in there, and if they can stick on something for a decent amount of time, they can definitely kill it. That's the question, is can they actually stick on something a decent amount of time? And I don't know if this weapons of sharpness and all the strength of giant spam is really going to amount to anything. I know there are individuals in here, the Machamps, basically, like the Machamps, the Nidoking, the Nidokings, the Nidoqueens. I think probably the Arboks, right? there are individuals in here that can do a hefty chunk of damage. Even these Arcanines are in here, even though I'm worried about them fatiguing people out, because they have this crunch, and this crunch hits pretty hard already. It's already a 21 damage attack. If you buff that up with Strength of Giants, it's 25 damage attack. If you give it Armor Piercing, that's a big fucking deal. We're ignoring half of the damage there, and then this is the bigger deal. This is kind of like the Nidoqueen thing, right? Is if we hit with a crunch, even if we're only doing a couple damage, we're hitting with a paralyzing poison. Paralyzing poison is armor negating 50 poison damage, which can fatigue these guys out pretty quickly. It is magic resistance negates. Never mind, it's probably never going to work. This type of stuff needs to be. You know what? It probably doesn't need to be reworked. It's probably just fine. It's just Steelixes need to be reworked. They just have an answer to everything. Anyways, so Viridian City is a very big deal. If we lose Viridian City, we're going to lose a lot. Is it the end if we lose Viridian City? Absolutely not. If we lose Viridian City, even if we lose both of these golems in the fight, which would really suck, right? If we lost every single mage and both of the golems in the fight, that would be pretty abysmal. I don't think that's very likely, but it would be pretty abysmal. But even in that case, it's not the end of the game for us. That would be a pretty big blow. We would have to climb up from there, and it would take us a very long time to do so. But I think it's doable. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that we might lose this battle, but I think if we lose the battle, we're taking a couple of champions. We're taking a couple Steelixes with us, right? And then I think we're going to probably be able to do something afterwards. We'll see. That's partially why I'm bringing Yazar over, is to see if... No. Should I just take him down? So here's the... I'm also like moving and patrolling on Kunal to see if I can't fish someone out. I think I want to stick with that. I think I'm going to trust Viridian City, and we're going to go from there. Okay, so moving away from Viridian City, I know that's kind of the big focus, the big spotlight for now, but we've got other stuff going on. We're continuing to patrol in Griffin Rock. We're actually making about 30 or so progress on Unrest per turn. So if we can continue to patrol for a little bit longer, we will be able to get this Unrest down and make benefit from this great gold mine, which would be nice. In Impassable Mountains... I guess this is the... So, yay, supplies! We're also, you might notice, we're recruiting more here. I don't think we're recruiting here, but we are recruiting in Kunal, right? We actually had some money. We had like 600 gold this turn. And it's not off an event or anything like that. Our income is just coming back. So here in Impassable Mountains, we're getting another nurse. This is probably going to be the last nurse. And then we're getting Mareeps. So we're going to try to turn the Mareep factory back on. And our hope is that once we can stabilize, we can start shoveling or shepherding Amphiroses out of the Impassable Mountains, so we don't have to worry about supplies nearly as much. But also, we're hoping to get rid of all of these diseases. So, oof, big oof. So we'll see how that goes. And then in Cyanwood City itself, we've got some movement from Zarin and Benna. And we are actually moving Zinville out. So Zinville is actually heading outwards for two reasons. He's heading out because he now has a strong enough force, I think, to do what he needs to do. And he is heading out towards Debrithia to claim the throne of the First Age to get us a little bit more Dominion spread, primarily. I care less about the magic resistance right now, but I do want the magic resistance as well. But really, it's this Dominion spread because we're starting to get a little pushed by Ekrutique's Dominion. I want to push that back, and I would like to start pushing my Dominion in other directions. Especially once I can get a temple here in Saffron City. I would like to actually start having my dominion out in this area. So we'll see how that goes. We basically started. I'm adding units to this patrolling unit every turn. I want to get a new. It's probably not going to be next turn, but either next turn or the turn after that, I'm probably going to get some black belt commanders, and I'm probably going to get another Crush Girl. And I'm probably going to have Crush Girl, the Crush Girl be patrolling on Cyanwood City from now on, using crappy units, basically like Radicates and Furrets and Apums to patrol, because we just don't care. We don't use them. They don't matter. They're really just there for patrolling fodder. And then everyone else, we're continuing to do our experience farming, basically. Nothing is going crazy here. We're moving our new golem out. All our golems got equipped, by the way, with their bracers of protection, so they're all a little bit more protected, a little bit more defensive, which is just a nice thing. He's actually moving and patrolling into Omicria. We're producing more lightless lanterns, some more owl quills. We're actually going to go back to producing some Pokeballs, with the hope that should this continue to go in our favor, we can start to get back to what we were intending on doing, basically, which we're going to need to do against Pewter City, which is going to be crazy. We'll talk about that in a bit. But then we're also doing water bracelets here with Venna. And we are casting streams from Hades. So Cameron the Photographer has empowered in Death, thanks to the Ring of Sorcery as Death 2. So we are doing a stream of Hades, which is going to get us a Kokithiid, which is a Water 3, which we don't care about as much, but it's Cameron is our strongest water right now. A Water 3 will allow us to put a Water Bracelet and a Robe of the Sea on and be a Water 5, which would be pretty nice. That's actually better than Cameron can do outside of using a Water Bracelet and a Ring of Wizardry. Cameron can get up to a Water 6 in that case. But Water 5 does a lot of things for us, which is pretty nice. But more importantly, the Kokithiid will be Death 3, and Death 3 does a whole shit ton of things. Death 3 will allow us to summon a Revenant. This Revenant can start basically Dark Knowledge spamming and wasting all of our Death Gems, but also potentially, hopefully, snagging us a few more Death Sites, which would start to accrue, which would eventually down the road, maybe 20, 30 turns, turn into an ability for us to produce some high-level death stuff. So we'll see. That's kind of the general plan. Shit. Trying to think if there's anything else. We're still looking at potential options to kit out Shy Call. Shy Call could potentially turn into... Urborn has turned into a little bit of a raider. We're looking at options to kit out Shy Call, but I ran out of time, and that's why these guys are just forging research items. Our research is now... it was over 1,000, but we're basically we're losing about 250 research from Viridian City. That's what's at stake here. Is about 250 research, and about 550 income. So Viridian City is this is a big deal. This was a very good play by Olivine City. This puts things on the table. But if I win here, if I kill the majority of his Steelixes, oof, this is going to be a major turning point in the tide. So yeah, we'll see. I might actually even put some earth boots on someone. Who do we think might be a good candidate? Maybe one of these Karateka? right? Or maybe maybe the Crush Girl. The Crush Girl's got pretty decent stats all around, right? Maybe we do that. Maybe this Crush Girl goes ham. Right? Boots, get an eye catcher on her. She will do 12 armor negating damage. Sure. Where's she at? She's gotta get hit by that Strength of Giants, right? So she's gonna hold, and then she's gonna attack. She's gonna hold, and attack. We'll see how that goes. just add some eye catching to the mix, you know? So that's pretty much it for the turn. Very big turn, very exciting turn. Really fun and interesting move from Olivine City. I should have anticipated with the last turn having so few attacks, right? I should have known that meant movement. And honestly, Olivine almost caught me off guard here. If it weren't for the fact that these golems can move an incredibly far distance, I would legitimately be concerned, like straight concerned of like, oh, this might horribly destroy us. Actually, can I? Oh no, they have no leadership. Actually, can I Cloud Trapeze Irma here? And can I... How far can Chuck move? I wonder. There's no way he can... I'm gonna check this just because I want to check it. Not because I think I'm actually gonna do it. But can Chuck... Okay, so Chuck, he almost can make it back. He can't quite get there though. That's really interesting. Like I legitimately was considering that for a second. Okay. So also to talk about this, Chuck is in a very dangerous situation right now. Like him sitting here is a very obvious maneuver. Also we know that he has other locations that are producing schoolgirls. So we could lose Chuck. I want to be prepared for that moment. Losing Chuck is going to be a shitty situation. But we're at that point in time where I feel like we have to start hurting Olivine as much as Olivine has been hurting us, or else we're going to be stuck in this war for eternity. Well, I say eternity. It won't last for eternity. It'll last as long as it takes us for Olivine to kit out some Steelixes and then just destroy us. So we've got to do this now. We've got to start making these moves now. And hopefully, you can tell I'm apprehensive, right? You can tell I'm not sure that this is going to work out. So we will see how it goes next time. Bye, everybody.